Good morning again. Today is the 6th day of June in the year 2015, which I find kind of interesting. If you're into numerology at all, you know that the date would be typically written 6/6/15, even in the other hemisphere where they write the month first. And the 15, of course, is 1 and 5, 6, so it's like 666, the vibration today, which 6 is actually the number of love and harmony. It's like the egg, the female shape, the pregnant woman, whereas 9 is actually the male sperm that give each other perfect balance. So 6 and 9. It's my star sign. Cancer is that symbol too. So I'm not really into symbolisms or that sort of stuff too much, but yeah, there's certainly something to be said for it. Anyway, I'm feeling much better today. I didn't drink yesterday. I got nearly through that entire beer that I opened, which is good because it's making me feel sick. And I'm having a beautiful warm chamomile tea with natural honey. Still a bit shaky, but feeling much better. And it's thanks to the positivity I'm getting. I'm feeling, for the first time in my life, I'm actually feeling some confidence in myself, and it's by making these videos, it's helping me a lot. And I'm going to try and keep it under 9 minutes or 10 minutes so I can YouTube this, so I'll get more to the point, because I wanted to finish the second part of my tale about my beautiful tree that I used to visit almost daily. So there was one day I went there, and it was a little bit later in the day by the time I got to her. I've got a few different paths I used to take. Sometimes I'd cut across the old disused golf course and go through the wallaby tracks, walking over big red belly black snakes. Had to do that one time, but it was really calm and accepting, so it was alright. I think I came from the beach this time, and I did something different that just felt right to do. I stripped naked, of course, and I decided to meditate against this tree. And how I did it is I sort of leant towards it, put my head in the ground, and leant up with my back up against it. And the ground there is like really soft. It's musky, sandy, loamy sort of thing, and I could feel my head slowly sinking into the ground. And then it was like these electrical type tendrils coming out of my head like giant tree roots, and I was tapping into the earth, and I was picking up all this ancient wisdom, the knowledge of the trees. It was just the most incredible feeling. You can't explain it in words. You have to experience it. The sensation, knowing these millions of year old trees that have been with this earth from the start, virtually. And I strongly recommend you have a look at John Lash, listen to some of his interviews, because that's been waking me up as well to put into words a lot of stuff I've already felt regarding Sophia. I called her Sophia yesterday, but they pronounce it Sophia, her mother. And anyway, I just had this most incredible connection with the earth. It was, I can't explain it, but when afterwards I went back through the tracks, wallaby tracks, there's no bush tracks now, just make my own. Was sitting in my spot, my favourite spot, overlooking the beach there, near Belongil, and after a while I started seeing this strange thing happening out in the water. I couldn't work out what it was. It was just coming down not far out from the back of the breaking waves, and as it got closer and closer, I could see it was a whale. Now, we get a lot of whales, but I've never seen a whale do this before, and it was thumping its tail 1, 2, 3, and then going under for a bit and coming up and doing it again 1, 2, 3. I'm going, what the hell? I thought, this poor thing. I just heard on the news only the day before that a whale up the Gold Coast had been trapped in shark nets. And I thought, oh, this poor thing, is it stuck? Is it trying to say something? And I was looking around to see if somebody walking by had a phone, because I didn't have one. I thought maybe we've got to contact somebody, national parks or whatever, to try and help this thing. But then anyway, it got right to where I was, and then it stopped. And I kid you not, and it put its tail up in the air and it waved. And I was like, whoa, unbelievable. How I wish I had a video camera to capture that. And then after a little bit, it just slowly kept going down in towards the bay, into Byron, but it kept doing the 1, 2, 3 tail slapping things. And then about 10-15 minutes later, another one comes along, this one with its baby, doing the same thing. Slap, big slaps. I've never seen anything like it. The day was getting on a bit by now, and I normally don't like to stay out too late because pale skin and all, I can only take a few hours of sun a day. But I just couldn't bring myself to leave. And you could see, as I was trying to leave, I kept turning around to look, and all of a sudden, out on the horizon, you could see these big billowing blowholes from the whales, and there was a massive stampede of them coming, all coming straight towards me from way out far, slapping their tails and massive blowholes. There must have been hundreds of them. It was just amazing. And then I saw it, the famous one they call Migaloo, the white whale. These are the humpback whales. He was out there, and I'm like, yes, you're still going, my beautiful little baby. Nobody believed me when I saw Migaloo when he was just a baby. He was abandoned in the Myall River down at Tea Gardens where I used to live. And there was, the prawn festival was on. I was only about 13 or 14 at the time. And I'm starting to experiment with, having a few beers and stuff with my mates. Anyway, late at night I was walking home by myself, and as I often did, I stopped on the top of the Singing Bridge, they call it, and you'd often see dolphins down in the water fishing under the lights. Anyway, here's this white whale, bigger than a dolphin, and I couldn't believe my eyes. I was at church the next morning. I still went to church with my parents back in those days, and afterwards we're standing around outside chatting as we did, and I asked some of the locals, because I'd only been there, this is my first year there, I asked some of the locals if you ever get whales in the river, and they just sort of laughed at me, like, and I said, yeah, I saw a white whale. And they were like, what were you on? And I was like, well, yeah, I'd had a little bit to drink, but I was sober, and I just feel this tremendous sadness from this poor little whale. Like, I think it had been abandoned maybe because it was white. And anyway, it was first officially spotted in Port Stephens, or just outside of Port Stephens, about 10 years later, an all white whale, and I was like, yeah, I knew what I saw. And I felt his utter sadness and loneliness. Just remembering it now, I cried. We cried now. But man, I was so happy to see him with this massive pod accepted, and he's even got his own websites now. If you Migaloo, Migaloo, the famous white whale. And I just had to tell that story because it's the most incredible experience I've ever had in my life, and it gives me hope that humanity, we can connect with our animal brothers and sisters. We are all one. Oh dear. It's a bit like the stories, I guess, of the white buffalo. It's a sign of the times. Big things are happening. Don't forget, you can feel free anytime, if you believe in love, to make a small donation to ancients@hotmail.com through PayPal. I'm very much appreciative of it. There's been some beautiful people already been very generous, and I'm very appreciative of that. It's all going to a very good cause. It's helping feed some wonderful, wonderful people in the Philippines, and it's helping me find my true love. She will be with me soon. Have a great day.